Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. It's great to see you all live again. This time from the home studio, hoping to just spend a few moments with you to share a really exciting series that's going to be coming to Just Be Yoga. We're hosting the space, and I'm really excited to be able to just have you all learn a little bit more about it. And I figured, what better way to do it than to go live with it? So starting next Tuesday at Just Be Yoga, we will be hosting a series called the Long Hauler Yoga Plus series, and it's going to be manifested by Sybil Shelton-Ford. And without further ado, I want to introduce Sybil to you all.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, good, good, good. It's
Good.
been good to see you. How have you
Yeah.
been?
It's I've been doing well. I've been really extremely busy. The end of the school year is coming, so this is my probably my last year working in school. So, um, end of the school year is coming, and so it's just that wind down of the school year. That's like, and then new stuff starting, like the long hauler series. So,
Great,
yeah, it's
great.
good.
Well, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to that for you, and what a great way for you to start off your summer. So, Sybil, would you mind taking a moment and sharing with everyone a little bit about yourself? I've already been touting on my social medias that you're a mentor of mine, someone I really look up to, who I've gotten my kid and teen training, yoga training from. But there's so much more to Sybil. So, if you wouldn't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, yeah, I always get at a loss for words. I feel like I do like a million things, but to keep things short, I'm Sybil. I'm a registered yoga teacher and also a registered yoga teacher trainer. So for yoga, my recent passion project and specialties have been using yoga for the management of anxiety in both children and adults. And so I have programs coming with that. And also, I am an IIN coach, which is an Institute of Integration Nutrition coach. And I specialize there also in using mindfulness and nature and the things we take into our bodies again for that management of and really chronic anxious feelings. So that those are my two specialties and my two sort of loves for coaching and for yoga. And then when I'm not doing that, I am a Montessori educator, but soon to be exiting Montessori educator.
I think you're always going to be an educator of sorts,
Of
Sybil.
sorts, yes, just
Yeah,
not in classrooms traditionally.
right, right. And you're a mom.
I am a mom. I have 3 adult children. I'm married to this CLB. Oh my gosh, it'll be 32 years this August since that I've been married. So, yep, all my kids are well. My youngest will graduate from Western Michigan University this year. So, yes, it's the last one out.
Woo! Way to go. Way to
Yes.
go. Awesome. So we're here to talk about the Long Hauler Yoga Plus series. And I guess the first thing that I just want to ask, I mean, I love that intro and how you're using different modalities for wellness as well as using yoga. But here we are a little bit post, dare I say, post pandemic. Well, what has been your experience in these 2 years with COVID or COVID survivors, personally or in your circle of friends?
Right. So, my son, my oldest son and I kind of joke, and it's knock wood for me. I'm like knocking wood every day. I think we're the only people that we know that haven't had it. So it's really come well, my mother and my sisters have no, my one sister. See what I'm saying? Like almost everybody I know has had COVID. Only one of the people that I know that is still kind of dealing with the long, what they call the long symptoms. the symptoms that seem to endure after that, the initial like fever and yuckiness end, that there's stuff that still lingers and has lingered now for months. Like it's been close to 6 months. So, and even in my circles, it's been everything from I haven't had anyone in my family that's been hospitalized, but you know, a lot of infections, and so it's and with that has brought a lot of just anxiety. I think anxiety in general. I've also noticed that people that I've talked to that I know who have had COVID, um, even if just to a small extent, have dealt with a lot of anxious feelings, like things that anxious stuff that wasn't there before, and which is really interesting to me. But I know that it can affect the nervous system, from what I understand. So, you know, that those have been my experiences. Haven't known any, like several people that I know of with long COVID. I just know of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that certainly, COVID has had a huge impact across our communities, as well as, within myself. I have not contracted it, but I have in my inner circle, folks who have contracted it, dear loved ones who have, thank goodness, made it through intensive care units, especially in those first waves.
Yeah.
And that anxiety, right, among even my own students, anxiety is a compounding of that fear of the unknown, of
Yeah.
the things we can't control. So many emotions get piled into
Mhm.
anxiety, and so it has been something that every one of us has felt, whether we have contracted it, whether
Yeah.
we've cared for a loved one, whether we've unfortunately lost a dearly departed one. Um, what are some of the effects of long haul COVID, the long haulers? What
Right.
are some of those symptoms, as you understand it?
So as I understand it, many of them have difficulty, like breathing difficulty. So difficulty catching breath, taking a full breath. So it does seem to have, for some people, a long, this long standing in the lungs, if you will. With that, then comes some depression, some anxiety, or I should say, quite a bit of anxiety, some sleeplessness, maybe some loss of appetite in general. I was talking to someone today, and she said she had a milder case, but she feels like ever since she had it, and she hadn't got it in January, that her appetite overall has changed. She just doesn't get as hungry as often.
Mm.
She still has to remind herself to eat because she just doesn't feel the hunger, which I haven't heard that before.
Mhm.
But exhaustion, I hear that general like fatigue that doesn't seem like it wants to let up. Um, maybe some muscle and joint aches, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of holistic. I mean, it kind of affects the whole person. But those are some of the ones that, as I understand it.
Yes, yes, and only from the few folks who I know, that long-term fatigue, and that sudden drain of the
Yes.
battery just being depleted, and it seems to super affect those who were used to being the go, go, go,
Right.
and then when the tank has nothing, we can take it personally, and we can internalize,
Hmm.
our own healing process. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah. So why yoga as a
Hmm.
part of the toolkit
Yeah.
for wellness, for long haulers in particular? And actually, I want to take a brief pause. I really failed to mention this, and it's my fault. I deeply apologize. But I know that you're working also with Nedra Cannon. And for folks who don't know Nedra, Nedra is a therapist in our community, who is big in our healing community, especially also in BIPOC spaces. But Nedra is also a survivor of COVID, and was trying to work while healing. through this, and has been wonderful about being transparent
Mhm.
about this process of the illness as well as the recovery journey, which
Right.
they're in currently. It isn't recovered from, but that they're in currently. And
Right.
Nedra wasn't able to join us tonight, um, but I did want to mention that I know that the two of you are working together on this. So with
Yes.
that, why yoga as a part of the toolkit?
M- Mostly the mindfulness piece. And so one of the beautiful things about yoga is it sort of takes you out of this headspace and drops you back into the body. And I think that from what I understand, and speaking with my one friend that is still on that journey, that you spend a lot of time here in your head, just sort of worried, like, what's going to come next? What's going to happen to me? Am I ever going to get better? So that you're living sort of in here. And so there's a process of dropping you back down into your body and sort of connecting to that which is. And so we connect with body, we connect with breath, we connect with just like that moment to moment. And so that sort of deep mindful space that can help us make that space for healing instead of really being frustrated with it. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months or 5 months or 3 months or 1 month and I'm not better yet. And kind of again kind of moving back into that sort of fight or flight or right back into the head. We want to drop down back into, you know, us, into that physical body, and using the body as a way to tap into the mind differently. So that's one. And also just to connect with the breath that is. So even if you can't, no, in our class we aren't going to be doing like full pranayama. I'm not even really concerned about that. I'm more concerned with the breath that is, to kind of connect with that and then see where you can go from there. It may just be you can take just some a couple what I'm going to call peaceful breaths. Not, we don't even have to control it, but just to drop down into it. So that's your kind of starting point.
Mhm.
So that's why yoga. That's why Nedra and I were talking, and she said, this could be really good. And that's why that. And in this class in particular, we're not going to be moving up and down off the floor because I don't want that to be, "Well, I can't do that. I can't like be up." And we're going to be sitting in a chair for most of the point, most of it, so that you have that support of the chair. And there's a ton of things you can do in a chair. And if you're not ready, if it's not there, you're just sitting and kind of being with what is. And that's part of that yoga journey too. I think people still in our minds have these pictures of that yoga is headstand and yoga is down dog and yoga is like, that's just stuff. I mean, it's beautiful. It's awesome if you can get there. And if you can't get there, that's awesome too. It's bigger than that. It's like I was explaining to someone else, it's that, how can I explain that yoga, as it was explained to me, that yoga, that system of yoga was the original mental health care practice. That's the yogis were more concerned about the mind, and we use the body as a vehicle to kind of tap and to control, if you will, the mind. So that was probably a long
Oh,
dissertation. Longer than what people wanted to hear, but
that's all right. That's all right. If they've been in a room with me, they've heard me yapping as well. But I love that. It's a system of integration, right? This
yeah,
yogic system, and to be fully integrated as opposed to one part of us dominating. And if we can unite and yoke all of the pieces of our being, maybe there will be some ease, maybe there will be some steadiness in our
yes.
being that we can find if we can get into a little bit of stira sukha, right? Um, so what can people expect? You've already said that we would be in chairs. What can they
Yes,
expect? How long is this series? I know it starts next Tuesday.
yes.
So yeah, how long is it, and what can people expect?
Okay, so it's going to be 6 weeks, and we're going to meet. 4 of the weeks will be at Just Be Yoga. Thank you for hosting. 2 of the weeks I'm out of town, so we're actually going to be meeting on Zoom. but you have chairs at home. So it's going to be a chair based practice. And I envision us actually doing physical things really slow, really easy, just to see, also to kind of gauge how where everybody is. You can't really tell until you're in front of people. Um, but about 30 minutes of movement. And it and when I say 30 minutes total, it doesn't mean that we're going steady for 30 minutes. Maybe, maybe not. Again, it's hard to I teach to who's there, not to the idea of who's there.
Mhm.
And then we'll also spend some time with our breath. We'll spend some time journaling. Like, what did you feel? What did you connect to? What might you want to take with you at home? And then so that plus piece of that is the coaching. So in this class, it's really more of a course or a program as opposed to just kind of your more what I'll call traditional yoga class where you come for 6 weeks and then yay, great. And it's awesome. You feel amazing. And then it's over and you wait for the next thing to happen. And it's really teacher directed. I really want this to be the individual's practice. And so you'll meet with me on the phone or Zoom or whatever works for you. It'll be 30 minutes a week where we'll talk about how can you take some of the things that you've learned in this class to your house so that the practice then sustains. And we'll talk about like how much time do you envision this working, how much, what pieces work best for you and what might that look like in your day, because my goal is to allow people to make this their own practice, their own healing practice, along with the other healing modalities that you have, and that the things work if you do them. But sometimes people get home and don't remember, what did the teacher say? I don't remember. How do you do this? I can't remember the breath. That's that 30 minutes a week. So we meet together as a group for 45 minutes once a week, and then you meet with me again for 30 minutes one on one.
That's
And
great.
yeah,
That's great. I love the concept of it all. I love the weaving of, embarking on a journey of yoga as our own personal self-discovery journey,
yeah,
because it isn't prefab packaged for anyone. We're all gonna step
yeah,
into our own truth in that. And so, what a wonderful way to weave this practice, and the way I see it as what it was intended for. And Jessica Char was really in love with trying to use yoga as a way of helping people heal themselves, and
yeah,
it seems as though that's a part of this journey for you as well. We do have
yes,
a Leslie who is online saying that she's interested
perfect.
in restarting in her practice, so that's great. Anything people need to bring, anything people need to wear in particular?
So I would just wear something comfortable because we'll be using the base of the chair. And depending on where people are, we might stand and still use the chair. I really can't tell until you get there. But wear something comfortable. You can be comfortable in bare feet or, some sort of socks that have a little grip. um, and I will supply some journals, but if you have your own special journal or things you want to write on, bring that with you as well. So we'll be taking some time in between for you to journal and or jot down notes, like, or even questions to ask when we have our 30 minutes together. So really just yourself and something comfy to wear. And if you have a journal, that's great. If not, I'll have like little notebooks that you can use that you'll be using for that practice. That's about
Great.
it.
Great. Um, I am going to post in our chat the link for folks to get to know, how to register. So I've
Yes.
just done that right now.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like a great way for folks not only to practice together, but to create community with one another.
Yes.
Sometimes just not feeling alone
Yes.
is a wonderful part of the healing process. Just being acknowledged and speaking the same language. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I'm really honored that you're doing this work. You're continuing to walk a path That's why, I definitely love you as a teacher, as a guru, as my guruji, so to speak. And yay, Leslie says that she knows someone who did training with me and spoke highly of our yoga. So Leslie, please come and join on next Tuesday. Um,
Yes.
yeah, Just Be Yoga has moved, you all, so we are not in Rio Town anymore. We've actually moved to the former Otto Middle School on the north side of town. If you need more information about, where we are, etc., check us out at justbeyoga.com. Also, do you have info on your website, Sybil?
It is not currently on my website.
Okay,
However, um, should be because I'm switching websites. I'm
okay,
kind of in the
that's all
middle
right.
of a
That's all
mess.
right. We've
So, but
doing
they can use that link, and you can go to the website if you want to message me, though. There's like a
okay.
place you can
All
you
right.
can actually put
As
that
you
in
are
there.
yoga.com, right?
Yep, that's it. So they can message me there.
There you go. Um, okay. So folks can check out more there. Anything that you want to add at all, Sybil? And folks, just so that you know, Just Be Yoga is offering scholarship availability if you're finding that the price tag might be a little prohibitive. You know how we are. We never want money to stand in the way of our wellness. So please do keep checking it out or contact me if you're interested in any sort of scholarship work. But yeah, if I missed anything that you feel is important for
Yeah.
people to know about this work, about this series.
I don't think so. I would just, but thank you so much for again offering the scholarship. That's amazing. You're just always so wonderful with your outreach and your community building. So thank you so much. Um, I don't have anything else to say about the program. Like I said, it'll run 6 weeks, and we start on Tuesday. Oh, I should tell you, it's 6:30 to 7:15. That you might want to know that.
The Eastern Standard, in
Yes,
case those
Eastern
folks are kind
Standard
of are
Time.
popping in and thinking, hey, I might want to go to Michigan for this.
Exactly.
Maybe if it's successful, do you think you might be able to offer it as a virtual program?
I was thinking about that actually. I was thinking about that this morning when I woke up. I said, there should be I think maybe in the future. I'm thinking because I am offering some other things in person starting in September. So I was thinking this would be a really good one for people to, that way, especially depending on where you are in your journey, you may or may not have the energy to drive anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I would, yeah. And if I did, it would be in, it would be in September.
Well, Tracy just said yes to virtual. So you're already building a little bit of reach for folks who would love to be able
Yes.
to access this. And, this does need to be disseminated more. So I love
Yeah.
the in-person things, but, if anything that the pandemic and the pivot allowed us to do is expand our reach and be able to offer various
Yes.
modalities to more people.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, Sybil, I'm looking forward to seeing you in person next Tuesday at our new
Yes.
location. I'll give you more deets on how you get there and make sure I got enough chairs ready for you. And yeah, I'm honored, that you spent some time with us here today. And we'll see you on Tuesday.
Will do. Thank you so much, Belinda.
All
And
right. Thank
bye.
you. All right, so folks, I am just going to linger for a little moment and give you all a few updates. I've already said that we have been moving and whoop, done with that. Thanking everybody for all of the painting and the whole brigade that showed up to make it all possible. We will be starting a new Tai Chi class starting on Tuesdays. Once the Long Hauler series is going to be over, we'll be having that on Tuesdays starting in July. I'm also going to be adding back a workshop that I did virtually, but I'm going to offer it in person called the Metaverse, how to generate more loving kindness toward ourselves and others. So I hope you keep your eyes peeled for that. But right now, our regular classes are on Thursday and on Sunday. I wanted to make some of you all aware of a couple of other announcements in town. I like to spread it around. We're all about community. So coming up next Thursday, the 16th, we're going to be general announcements in the community that has served me and that I hope that we can give back to. And otherwise, I just want to thank anyone who has shown up. And Leslie, you missed the price. My bad. So it's 180 for that series. That does include your one-on-one session. And that should be in the link that I posted before. I'm going to post it one more time just so that you can click on that link. It's a PayPal link to be able to register. If you are interested in a scholarship, please email us at info@justbeyoga.com, and I will answer you and see what we can do to get you a little bit of financial support in case you need it. All right, so you can email us there. All right, everyone, it has been wonderful to see you all popping in, and we'll be trying to sign on a little bit more often now that all that move stuff is out of the way. All right, be well, be good to one another, take care of one another, take care of yourselves. Namaste.